The greatest blessings and the biggest level up and come up has happened since my husband and I decided to go back to church. And our faith tradition is the Latter-day Saint Mormon faith, but this is not specific to that faith. I want to talk to everyone on my page regarding religion and regarding faith. I actually want to take religion out of it because I think religion has a pretty negative connotation, especially when it comes to kind of stifling you and giving you this textbook way to be spiritual or to have a relationship with God. And I'm going to say that leaving the LDS faith for 7 years, I had completely figured out what I believed in and what my spirituality was. And then I came back to church. And why did I do that? Because I don't think that we're meant to be spiritual beings out here alone in the world. I think that we're meant to be part of a tribe and a collective, because if you look at a small number of people meditating together, they can achieve amazing things. Why is that? It's because you have this focused, intentioned energy towards a good cause. And I just think we're so much more effective as a collective. And what I also realized, the sun is in my eyes, but I'm like absorbing the vitamin D right now because this is so good for our spirituality too, is just sitting under the sun. I also realized that I was meant to be in a tribe of people that had shared beliefs, because I could accomplish so much more in a collective union of people. I recognize that we are all one. I recognize that we all come from source consciousness. We are all God having an experience through our individual eyes. And so therefore, I need to love my brother. I need to love my neighbor because he is the same as me. And, God commanded that. In every single religious structure that you want to point at, it is love your neighbor. And I was just not able to do that out here alone, solo, and in these little groups. I needed a tribe. I needed a community. And so I had gone to different faith traditions, as I talked about in past videos. I tried to find other faith traditions because I had been Mormon my whole life. I was born into the church, married into it for decades, temple-going member, and I just wanted something different. I thought I was going to find something different. I thought I was going to find something more true. And what I realized out here in the secular world for 7 years is all religious faith traditions lead back to God. They're all good. And so I was going to go with the one that felt familiar to me, that felt comfortable to me, that felt like home, that had the people that I resonated with. I followed my gut. I followed my intuition back to Mormon church or Latter-day Saint church, because that was my tribe and that was my community. And that's where I can best be loved and love others. And since we have made that huge step to go back, even though I had my records removed, I sent a notarized letter to the church headquarters in Salt Lake 7 years ago and said, remove my records. I sat down with my 2 older kids at the time who were 17 and 19, very impressionable ages. And I said, I don't believe in the church anymore. I will support you if you want to go, but if you don't want to go, I'll support you with that too. Your faith journey is your own faith journey. And I still stand behind that. And I tell my kids 9 and 11 that now too, that it's their journey and they get to decide where they want to go to church. But the older kids decided they wanted to leave too. So we left a whole family of 6 from the church. And I ended up splitting up from my husband of 20 plus years, which looking back now, I recognize that needed to happen. And I don't know that I would have been able to do that if I was still in the church. So I understand now why I had to leave the church. That's one of the reasons. But also, I wanted my kids to be able to have the choice. And I don't know that they would have had the choice had we stayed in it. So looking back now, caveat, I do think that all of these things happen for a reason. But when I left the church 7 years ago, it was like, I was ready to be done with it and I was ready to find something new. But the more I went out and looked, the more I recognized that I wasn't finding my home and my tribe anywhere else. Going back to church has felt so good. Today I'm going back for like the 7th time. I'm still counting, y'all, because it still blows my mind that I went back to Mormon church, that I went back to Latter-day Saint church. But I'm going back today. I'm bringing the 2 kids, 9 and 11. They want to go. They have chosen to go. I ask them every Sunday, hey, do you guys want to go to church? And it's okay if you don't. And but I'm going to go. So if you guys want to come, you're welcome to come. They want to come. Every single Sunday they want to come. They love it. And my husband and I have had so many blessings since we've gone back to church. And I'm just going to use the LDS vernacular for that. You can call it a synchronicity. You can call it a God wink. You can call it whatever you want to call it if you're out in the spiritual world. But I'm going to say it's God. I'm going to say God has blessed us since we've gone back to Mormon church. And I could give you a long list of ways that has happened. But just suffice it to say that we've been blessed financially. We've been blessed with more love in our home. We've been blessed with more love in our union. We've been blessed with, most of all, more happiness, hope, and security. It feels so much safer to be part of a Mormon community again, to be part of a Latter-day Saint tribe. I have loved the friends that I've met at church. I have loved the time that I've been able to spend with the Mormons again, with my community and tribe, as a collective, at church in our congregations, but also one-on-one solo, hanging out with them, getting to know them better. It has been just really, really enriching and nourishing to my soul. I'm gonna ugly cry here. I'm gonna make some weird noises and I'm gonna ugly cry, but it has been so wonderful to be back in that tribe, in that group, that family. That's what it feels like. It's felt so good. It feels so good. I've said before, it feels like I'm on the best drug. I'm on the best drug. I never need to use drugs again. I never will again. I've been there, done that, but you just can't compare with the happiness and peace and just euphoria that comes with belonging to a tribe again, feeling the love of Source, God. I felt the love of God before I went back to Mormon church. You can find it. You can find it yourself. You can find it out there in the world. I'm not saying you can't. You can find it in other faith traditions too. But for me, going back into the building that I grew up running through the halls in as a little girl and being baptized at 8 in the font in a church building and sitting there with my family of origin growing up and sitting there with my kids as I watched them grow up, being back in those halls is so enriching, nourishing, and healing to my heart and soul. And I'll never regret going back. So it's not even just the pragmatics of the amazing blessings that have come into my life since going back to church, but it's the happiness and joy and peace, faith and hope that I feel. And there are literally not words to describe how amazing it feels to be back at church.